In this video, we're going to be applying model-based test automation to Micro Focus's Silk Test product. At the heart of this demo is Test Modeler, which allows you to create a reactive model of how the system works. Test Modeler has full integration with the Silk Test repository for creating models rapidly. Once a model exists, you can export optimized tests into the test case management system. You can find, make, and allocate test data for your test cases. You can automatically export automated test cases into Silk Test, and you can also synchronize the run results back up and overlay them on the model. Whenever there's a new iteration, all you need to do is update the model, and all of these assets get updated seamlessly. Using Test Modeler, you get the perfect set of test cases, the minimum amount to maximize coverage. You can maintain your tests and your assets very quickly. You have a library of reusable components to build automation, and overall this is going to allow you to move much faster when developing your software, and also allowing you to deliver your software with confidence. So let's jump in and take a look at the demo. So the application we're going to be testing in this demo is a desktop application called KeyPass, which is an open source engine for storing passwords and other credentials. What we can do is we can come in here, click New, and we can go in and create a new database, and then we can enter a password for that database, along with some credentials in here for database names, users, and other such parameters. At the end, we get a new database created for us, which you'll see here. And this is the component and logic that we want to test, creating that new database inside. So what we've done in Silk Test here is we built up an object repository for all of the objects that we want to automate in our KeyPass application. And if we open some of these up, you'll see the different objects with the locator path strategies that have been applied. Within Test Modeler, we have full synchronization capabilities with the Silk Test object repository, and you'll see here within Test Modeler now we have an exact mapping of all of those objects from Silk Test. Now within our testing, we're going to focus on this particular form, and we're going to build out a little model that will go in and enter a new master password, a repeat password, and you can either click OK or cancel to create that password and set it in the database. So we're just inside the model editor view. And you'll see here on the right hand side, we've navigated through our Silk Test action repository here. Now, the first thing we want to do on that page is actually go in and enter a password. So we'll just select that. The next thing we will do is enter a repeat password. We're going to send some keys into that field. The final thing we're going to do here is once we've got our repeat password and our normal password, we've got an option then. We can either go in and create or cancel the process. If we create, we're going to go off and click the Create button, and if we cancel, we will go off and create the Cancel button. Now if we go through the topmost route here, we should end up successful. If we go through any of the other routes here, we'll end up in an error state, so we'll just connect them up. Now what you'll see here is as we went through bringing in these items, what happened was it segmented them for me into different equivalence classes. So if we take a look at the initial password here, what you'll see is that we've got a valid password and we've got a block here for an invalid password. Now if we take a look at the valid password, what you'll see is that it's had the intelligence here to overlay a data generation function. And this is in fact one of our synthetic data generation functions where we can go in and rapidly start creating some data very quickly for different phone numbers, names, financials, companies, and a whole world more attributes. We can also go into backend databases here to find and make the right data. So here it's gone in and entered a valid password. We just need to edit this one for the repeat password. And for the valid password, what we will do is just overlay a little expression here that's going to take our previously entered password and refer back to it. Now what we in essence have here is a model of how our database configuration screen works and the different logic sitting behind it. Now what I can do is I can come in, hit the generate button, and this will generate the minimum number of tests to maximize coverage across our model. Here you'll see we've got 4 scenarios, and as I'm flicking through the model, you'll see the different routes through that configuration page is taking. Each of these paths represents a test case. Once a flow is created, it becomes a reusable asset. What we've done here is linked the flow that we've created into a much bigger process. Firstly, going through and creating a new key score by clicking the File menu, and saving the database, then going through the configuration which we just created, and finally going through the database settings screen with the different names and usernames to be applied. And what you'll see here is that we have a much larger end-to-end process that has been constructed. I can do exactly the same come in and hit the generate button. And what you'll see now is we have a much larger set of scenarios which cover the whole end-to-end process. We can now go off and export each of these tests back into SilkTest. So we're just back inside SilkTest here inside our .NET script view, and what you'll see here is that we have the 7 tests that were created here. What we'll do is we'll just open one of these up, and what you'll see here is the associated code that has been created by Test Modeler along with the associated test data that is embedded inside the code. Now what we can do is go off and execute this test. Thanks for watching this video. Visit testmodeler.io to start your free trial today.